Hello again, boys and girls. Welcome back to another week in the shop. So, not gonna lie, I've actually already started this video. I think this is the second time I've started this video. Even did a little bit of work, hated everything I filmed, so we're starting again. Camera looks crooked. There we go. So, this week we are going to work on tearing apart the front suspension on the MGB and hopefully getting it completely rebuilt, lowered, and getting the back done. I want to get this thing to where hopefully by the end of this video we can drive it. I know I've said that before. I just keep finding more things. So hopefully this video is the video where we actually finally do it, because frankly I'm tired of looking at it, working on it, and not actually ever being behind the wheel of it. So I want to get that done. As you can see, we've already started some work. I have started tearing apart the front suspension. I've almost got the steering rack out. There we go. Those are the words I was looking for. And I've started tearing apart the driver's side front suspension. And this is where things started kind of going south on me. Nothing wanted to come apart the other day when I was working on it. So we may end up doing it like I've done the cross member we're going to use already, which was I tore everything off of it out of the car because I didn't have a car sitting on it. This is the cross member we're putting back in. This is part of actually lowering it. This is a early model front cross member, which sets about an inch lower than the cross member in this car. This cross member's got basically a 1x1 piece of C-channel or a box tubing setting right across here with holes drilled in it that lifts the whole thing up. So I want to put this one in to lower the front, and then I've also got a set of springs where we're going to work with to throw in it and to lower it a little bit more. The goal is to do about a 2 to 2.5 inch drop on the car. If we could get it down 3 inches, that would make me super excited, but I don't see that happening. And honestly, I think at a 3 inch drop, the front end of the car will almost be sitting on the ground. So, which is cool to me, not so cool to everyone else. But yeah, that part is what it is. So I want to get that done. And then once we know how low the front is, we're just going to go buy a set of drop blocks, because O'Reilly's has 1, 2, and 3 inch drop blocks. We'll go buy them, some longer U-bolts, drop the whole rear end of the car down. The rear should be super simple. But yeah, that is this video in a nutshell. The only thing is, I need it to be warmer yet, because it's only like 50 degrees out and my dumb ass still has shorts on. So we're going to go inside and change before we do anything. I've already started spraying some stuff down with PB Blaster because, well, it needed done. The hope is to leave the steering rack in the car, then drop the whole subframe, get everything apart. If I don't try to just take everything apart off the subframe while it's still in the car, I've heard that makes some of it easier. Thus far, I've not seen that, but I'm told it makes it easier. And then we're going to go through and just kind of pick out of the parts we have what are the best parts. I have a full Kingpin rebuild kit, which will show how that works, because this has kind of a wonky setup compared to most cars that most people work on anymore. And we'll get it all taken care of, refreshed. And basically at the end of this, we will have an MGB with a completely rebuilt front suspension, all brand new front brakes, all brand new lines. This car's gonna have more new parts in it than it did when it was brand new. It's a bit ridiculous for a car that was probably worth $200. Yeah, and then we'll talk about what's going to happen to it after that's done, because I have an idea in my head and I just got to figure out whether or not I have time to do it. So, because I have the next 6 days off, so I have time. Kinda. Let's see. We'll figure it out. We'll play it by ear. Yeah. All right. Enough yapping. Let's get to work. All right. Well, things have happened. That's no longer connected to there, and now that'll turn. Now it's just a matter of getting it to actually come all the way off. I'm gonna let that cool down before I try touching it though, because that's gonna be hot. I don't want to burn myself. I hope the other side goes better. I have everything else up here in a box. I hope. I'm pretty sure that's everything. I hope that's everything in there. Because if not, we're gonna have some issues. Yeah, because right there's the new kicking pin, all the new bushings. Literally, the only part that does not come with is the part that attaches that to the shock. So I need that part out, and I needed it off of the shock so I could, you know, put a new bushing in it. This car's dumb. Smoky. All right, so I got the spring out of the system on our car. Given we're getting rid of a vast majority of this, I do want to show you something though that is also going to help us gain some of that ride height drop that we want. Because while this cross member is providing some, I got to looking, it's not quite an inch, it's about a ½ inch drop between this and that. And I also learned something while doing this, and I'll show you that. So right here, oh, let me get down more on this level. This right here is the stock spring to our 75 mgb. This is the stock spring for a 71 mgb. As you can see, that is about another ½ inch shorter. And this is the spring we're going to use. That is going to help provide a significant amount of drop, along with the front cross member. This alone, without changing anything else on the front of the car, would give us a very, very significant drop. And I did think about just doing that, but the whole thing needs rebuilt, and considering how far apart I want to have it already, swapping that cross member, is not a hard job. It's just time consuming because, well, you've got to swap the entire suspension over to it. Well, we're already going to have the entire suspension apart anyway, so not doing it at this point almost doesn't make sense other than the steering rack. And now that the bolts are broke on one side of the steering rack, kind of got to have it all apart anyway. So again, we're back to it just not making sense to not do. Yes, I'm using that all as excuses to still go ahead and do it. No, I'm not agreeing or saying that it makes any sense, knowing that I only wanted about a 2-inch drop and that spring provides that. Actually, you know what? Let's grab a tape measure. Well, okay, that spring provides about a 3-inch drop. Now, given this spring is much more heavier, maybe not. Then I was gonna say a lot heavier than the old factory spring, so maybe it won't be that much. No, it's going to be every bit of that much. We might end up actually having to go with this spring when it's all said and done, just because of the that's a lot. Now, given we are using the other suspension setup, so this might not be that big a deal. Let's do a mock-up on the old suspension quick and see what it looks like. All right, it is hard to put it in perspective with the car being up in the air, how much lower that is. And I kind of got to hold the tire with the hand because there's no tie rod end. But yeah, I could stick my whole fist in the wheel well gap before. And see how I can do that. And now I can get 3 fingers. I don't think you guys could see any of that, but yeah. Yeah, I can get 3 fingers now when I'm holding the tire properly. Right now it just wants to do that. So that has made a significant difference. And I can't show you the back as a comparison because, well, the back wheel well arch is significantly different. So you got something to think. That comes clear up to here on the front. Yeah, this is going to be this 2 foot 1 3/4 inches, I believe, is now going to be below 2 foot when we have the whole front end put together. Kind of excited to put the cross member in now, because that's going to also play a big role difference in it. Because let's see if I can get you guys up under there well enough. I think being on the ground is going to make a huge difference too, because as those right now look, they look relatively flat, maybe up at a little bit of an angle, versus that's right now uncompressed. Versus that is this side compressed and lifting the car up now. So that itself shows a very significant difference in the ride height. Huh. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be a little lower than I thought. I'm all for it. As soon as I can get the suspension to come apart. I got 1 bolt that's going to be a nightmare changing out to get the whole front sub-assembly off. I'm not looking forward to that one either, because it's on the top of the frame rail, kind of under some things. It may involve taking the master cylinder off. We'll find out. Yeah, that is that makes me happy to see. My effort's going to be kind of worthwhile. Probably gonna ride like crap, let's be honest. Gonna look cool though. That's all that matters. At least on something like this. I mean, stock, they were not exactly the most amazing riding car either. And that's where I now set myself up to get completely obliterated by everyone in the MGB community. They're an amazing little sports car. They ride great for what they are. They do. When you compare it to other cars of the era, but compared to, you know, something a bit more newer, even on coilovers, or even something same era on stock suspension, it's okay. But yeah, all right. Enough of my shit talking. Let's start to get things apart. Attempt number 3. So, batteries keep dying. That is how it's supposed to work. See, I can barely move it. Versus, ow. That's how that is. That's not good. So, my other 2 options are this, which honestly does not seem much better than that other one. Or, ow, this one. That might be okay. So I think that one's gonna come apart to go on the car. And I need to charge some batteries before I can do any more tonight. So we will come back to this in the morning. I will film some actual work tomorrow. Today was just I want to get it apart thing and see what's good and see what's not. And I have at least done that for tonight. We will pick this back up in the morning. I am tired. Have a good night. So, everything's now out of the car. It required removing a few more parts than I would have liked, but it is what it is. And I've discovered this is in worse shape than I thought because, well, as you can see, the direction that's pointing, that's not supposed to be pointing that direction. That's also not supposed to turn there. The steering rack is physically coming apart, nor will it come off of that bolt. So, and that mount completely just like fell apart. So, that's a thing. But luckily for me, Ryan had a spare one sitting in his garage, as well as a steering rack that appears to be in much better shape with a much nicer steering wheel than I have. So there's that. And it appears that the turn signal switch works on this one. So I'm going to play with a little bit of wiring and see if I can't wire that one in and make life a little easier on myself. Because if I can do that, that's going to make things so much better. At least that's the goal anyway. We're going to figure that out though. I got to see if I can put power to it and then hook the turn signal wires to it. Because while all of this is in it, because I think it also does the high and low beam, which I don't need any of that. I just need the turn signals to work. That will make life a lot easier. And it'll look cleaner in the long run, honestly. So, we'll see. That'll give me an idea of what it's going to take to do it in here as well. So, yeah. But currently kind of stuck in the house for the minute. I came out here because, well, some parts showed up for the GT6. Wanted to bring them out to the garage, and that steering rack was sitting outside and didn't want it sitting outside anymore. So, at least for another hour or so, I think I am stuck in there, and then I will get back out here. At this point, we've only got a couple more parts to take off of this. I'd really like to clean some of it up beforehand, but as you can see, the weather sucks today. So I don't know if I'm going to get to clean anything up like I wanted before we start throwing parts together. We're going to try, though, because it could definitely look nicer. So, yeah. We'll see where that goes. Alright, I'm rambling. I'll bring it back. I will bring you guys back for actually putting things in the car. I know I've not shown anything of anything coming out yet, but that's because I wasn't 100% sure what I was doing. Now I am, so we'll get it taken care of then. So, a guy really thought he was done with disassembly. But then he went to start some reassembly off camera. That way he could know what he was doing to show you on camera. Went to put one of these new bushings in and proceeded to mess up both of them, which means I have no good bushing to put into this knuckle. This one I haven't actually looked at the bushings on, but after learning what I have learned about the mileage of the car, I'm not even going to bother looking at those, because these ones I know have less miles on them by a long shot, and the brass bushings in them look okay, so I'm going to use them instead and rebuild everything else on it. Because, you know, yay me. Alright, so next day. I ain't really got a lot done today. Because I went and looked at a potential new project car, and it didn't quite pan out the way I was hoping, so that took up a good chunk of the day. Visited with my buddy a little bit while I was there, and then spent some time with my daughter today. Just me and her kind of playing around. But I did get a little bit done right now. I was originally going to show it on camera, and then very quickly realized that I barely know what I'm doing, so I don't want anyone watching me thinking this is the best way to do it and doing it themselves that way. So I did it off camera, and I'll just tell you what I did. And that is I rebuilt the kingpins. So these ones are not locked completely down in place yet. They have... This one appears, even though I did re-shim it a couple times, it has just a very, 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 very vague amount of slop in it, which I believe they're supposed to have. I honestly think this one that has almost zero lash to it at all. Neither one of them really have any lash. I think this one set up proper and this one could be a little tight. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to leave them both the way they are because they're, frankly, they're 10 times better than they were in the car. So, yeah. But those are rebuilt. I got to tighten the tops down once everything's in the car and kind of locked in place to where it can't move. Because right now they can move too much. So the next thing we got to do is... I need to get these off of here, and I think it's this one off of here. so they can be transferred to that one, and then that whole mess can be put in the car. Unfortunately, considering how late at night it is already, I don't see it happening tonight, and it means I got to get out here early tomorrow morning and just kind of start getting things done, because I am on day 3. I have accomplished, I mean, realistically, I've accomplished a lot. I just haven't accomplished as much as I wanted to, so I was wanting to have this done by the end of today, but going and looking at the car, and then another buddy stopping over for a couple kind of threw a monkey wrench into things, and I didn't get nearly as much done as I had planned on, so, you'll have that. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, these, as far as rebuilding them goes, all you're missing is there's a brass bushing in here and here. Now, let me turn it. In here and in here. Now, I didn't replace them because I tried replacing the one on this one and butchered it twice, which means I no longer had an upper bushing. So I just left, I went through the other 3. Obviously the one, I only had one option. The other one I had 2 options. Picked the one with the better bearings, or the better bushings out of the 2. Used that one, put the new kingpins in, and then rebuilt. There is basically essentially 2 washers and a brass washer inside of here that gets lubed, gets greased up through this grease zert, and that's what everything steers on. So that's all together. That's good. These already had the bushings in them. I've already completely greased this one. I got to grease the rest of that one yet. I will worry about it once it's on the car. Yeah. All right, so new cross members ready to go in. I was going to take it outside, soak her down with some super clean, and power wash it, throw it in the car. But that's when I originally thought this was going to be like a 2-day project, and I was going to be done. Then I've gotten struck with the lazy, and I don't think that's happening now. I think it's going to get thrown in the way it is, call it a day. It'll have all new bushings and stuff in it. That's all that matters. I got the bolts I need. They're laying up there on the hood of the car now. Or, well, the cowl of the car, I guess, not the hood. So, there's that. Now we're literally at, I need to get that on the jack and get it under the car and get it bolted in. So, I gotta say, getting to this point has been neither fun nor easy. I really did not think this was going to be this hard of a rebuild, especially once I realized the engine mounts weren't connected to it. I was like, okay, this is going to be a super simple, drop it out, put it in, rebuild it, done. Not a 3 days of getting my ass kicked by an MGB. Now, given yesterday, I only worked out here like 2 hours. The day before that, I think I worked out here 4 hours. Today, I've been out here about an hour and a half. The first day, I can't remember how long I was out here the first day. I was out here probably an 8-hour day the first day. So it's not like it's been an all-day event every time, because I've had other stuff I needed to do. But I thought this was going to be 5-6 hour job total. Not a going on 20. So, yeah. It's been a bit more than I thought. And then I needed a few more parts than I thought too. So, because like, me and Ryan, neither one had any thought about, the bolts are longer that hold the subframe in, because, well, the other subframe's a 1/2 inch taller. Never crossed our minds. So I had to figure out that. I didn't plan for the steering rack to go bad on me. So that was the whole thing. I had been talking to him about possibly grabbing the steering column, because I thought a lot of the noise I was hearing was coming from my steering column, but it was actually coming from the steering rack. But the steering column still makes noise, so maybe I'll still go and switch that out. Plus, it's got like the actual like turn signal lever. I might try to make that work with my stuff, because that would make life a lot simpler. I just got to figure out what wire sends power and what wire is going to actually do the clicky both directions. So, yeah. What a day. This thing better be awesome when it's done. If not, it's definitely getting sold. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys, it's probably getting sold either way. Because, well, we need money for other things, and we need other project cars. I mean, we can't just get this done and get the TF or the GT6 done, and then what? We don't have anything else to work on. Well, we do have other stuff to work on, but we need money to work on those things. And right now, the GT6 is taking every dime I have. So, yeah. I still need to get the seats out of it for that guy. Crap. It's always something around here. All right, enough rambling. Let's I'm gonna try to set you guys on a tripod to where you can see what I'm doing and get this cross member up and in the car. Oofta. That was a bit of a pain. But hey, it's in. At the start. So now that we got that in, we got to go back to O'Reilly's and get 4 more of these so we can bolt the steering rack in. And then we can start throwing the rest of the suspension on the front. Figure out exactly how low this thing's going to sit. And then get some lowering blocks for the rear. I really hope the rear goes better than this. It should, because it's just 4 U-bolts. And I've already jinxed myself by talking about it. So we're just going to shut up and we're going to go get these bolts and start figuring some more out. Whew. At least it's in. That was probably the second hardest step of this whole thing to do. To wrap it back up and put it back together. At least that's what I'm telling myself. Let's take the green Cadillac for a drive. See if it'll actually start. It hasn't been driven in like 2 weeks. Which is odd, because normally I drive this thing every day. It's been really cold in the morning, so I've been taking the RAV4 everywhere, because, well, it's got a better heater. Or, well, a faster heater, I guess I should say. Let's, give her a few pumps. Come on, old girl. I know you can do it. There we go. love this car. I can already tell by the way it's setting I need to air up their air shocks. Ass is sagging. Apparently she's leaking something too. That's kind of new. Well, we forgot our wallet laying in the garage. Watch me back up. Don't let me hit anything, guys. Don't hit Pearl. Look at that big old beauty. I need to start driving it more again too. I haven't driven it in a couple weeks either. But it has no heat, so that's kind of why. Good old car. Let her warm up for a minute too. It probably wouldn't hurt. Wheeling the back. Ah! Yep. Phone and wallet both right there. Go figure. Downside of not filming with my phone anymore. I forget it now. Alright, back out to the car. Get down to O'Reilly's. Parts and show this car some love too. Really like to throw a new set of wheels on it, set of lowering springs, new exhaust for right now. Just kind of make it a little bit better. Come on, lady. There you go. You were there first. But yeah, I like to do all that, make this thing look just a hair bit cooler than it does. Realistically, I would like to get a different set of wheels for Pearl and take the wheels off of Pearl and put on here. I would love a set of American Racing salt flats on either one of these cars. While a lot of other people like the torque thrusts and stuff like that they make, I have been a big fan of the salt flats for a long time. But at like a few $100 a wheel, I can't afford them right now. So, alright. No one here other than them, so I'm gonna take you guys in with me. In the store we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, O'Reilly's. They got the junk.
What now?
I need 4 of these.
You know where to find these?
That's about right. Customer service at its finest right there. If it was any better, it would have been welcome to Walmart, get your shit and get out.
I mean, we can introduce ourselves that way if we want to.
Would not surprise me.
Just say the O'Reilly's love better than O'Reilly's love. Fuck you.
All right, I need, this is 5/16 by 24. Where are they?
How long?
That long. don't know, take one of them out and compare them. You have the free hands, I don't.
That long.
That'll work. I also need nuts that fit those as well.
Because there's 3 in a pack. You need
Well, I
2
need-
packs or...
Well, I mean, technically I have 1.
Okay.
So I only really need 3. So, and I only really need 2 of those. So as long as those fit those, it should be good, I think. That should do it. Yay. Yay. Oh, so that all took a lot more time than expected. Got something in my eye. That's kind of bugging me a little bit. No more's got done on the ramp or on the MG yet because, well, I went up to grab some bolts and you guys seen that. The wife was like, "Hey, I'm getting ready to go on break. Let's go grab some, you know, lunch, dinner, whatever you want to call it." So we went and did that, and then I got home from that, and my buddy that has the Rambler now come by, which you guys will see that in a short, and it started having problems while it was here, because, you know, that car hates this place. So I've spent the last 2.5 hours helping him get that thing to where he could get back down to his house, and then followed him down to his house and proceeded to talk to him for about another half hour. And ate up half my day that was supposed to be on this. So I guess tomorrow we'll get it finished. This has turned into the project that will never end. It's okay though, because it will end, and it'll end by tomorrow night. But I think at this rate, I'm going to go in and look at my eye. And we'll come back to this in the morning again. I hope. And welcome to day 5 of our 2-day project. This is now officially turned into, we're getting the front suspension done, and that's probably it this video. So this side is together. I've opted, I did not show how to do it on camera because I don't want anyone watching me do it thinking that's the right way to do it, because I have no idea what I'm doing. It's together. Everything seems to be moving as it should. I'm calling it a win. I don't think it's perfect, but it'll do. So it'll do. Plain and simple. The only thing left to do on this side is put the rotor, hub, all that stuff back on. Everything else over here is done though, and I jacked it up, tightened everything down, so it should have like the full weight of the vehicle basically on it and be good. I think I need to tighten a couple more things down just a little bit more so I can get cotter pins in all the way, if they'll go any farther. I think that's another issue I'm just going to run and do on a couple things on here, is the new bushings are a little thicker, so things aren't lining up the way they did, blah 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 blah. I'll figure it out, it'll be fine. But yeah, so we've got that done. We're gonna go ahead and move to the other side. I'll probably go ahead and throw it and do time lapse and just show you guys me putting the other side together and not overly explain anything, because, well, not professional, no idea what I'm doing, just happens to be working. So, and at this point I just really want to get this front end done. This is taking me 3 times longer than I wanted it to, and this is kind of my last day to get it done. If not, there's not going to be a video. So, yeah. The joys of trying to get things done in a timely manner when you don't have time. And the bad part is I've had time, I've just been slow. So, because this was way more complicated than I thought this simple suspension was going to be. Yay me. So, alright. Let's get this side done. I'll set the tripod up. You guys can watch me struggle and fail at that. And then we'll move on to getting the hubs and bearings and rotors and all that fun stuff on. All right, get it done. So this right here is the problem with doing anything on camera for me. That's upside down. Now I've got to take everything back apart that I got halfway together so I can flip that around, or try to break 2 more nasty bolts loose to take it out and flip it around. No win. So, the guy forgot to turn the camera back on. It's all there together. I got the steering rack set in, which led to me going, there might be another issue here that I haven't stumbled across yet. But we'll get to that, because that's with the steering rack in place. Those are clearly very far apart still. So yeah, that could be a whole nother issue I didn't know about. Which, I don't know what it would be unless that shaft is longer. Which would be weird. Which means hopefully this one is somehow longer, but I don't think it is. So we might have to put that one back in. I don't know. I gotta pull it back out and do some comparing and see. I don't know why it would be different. But looking at it, it certainly does look different, at least in the car. So that's a whole other issue. Yay mgbs. But yeah. All right, I will bring you guys back here in a couple. I need to get that figured out before I go any farther. So the whole thing about having another rack for the car, yeah, that was a lie. I didn't know it was a lie, but it's a lie. So we are currently trying to get the one bolt that's holding that on out so we can use the old rack that I wasn't exactly happy with to put the car back together. This is very much starting to look like it's going to be a 2-day project to finish this up. Maybe I should make an RC video. That's starting to sound like a good idea. I think we need an RC video. That's no winning with this thing. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and sit here and roast that like a marshmallow for a little while, and then we'll try getting it off and see how it goes. I'll bring you back and let you know. One way or another, it has to come off. That's all I can tell you for sure. So, after some rapid disassembly of some things that really shouldn't have come apart, and a lot more heat than I definitely wanted to use, I now have that out. I can't touch that at the moment, so we've got to stop no matter what now. And some of you are probably going, well, why do you need to stop? I want to get the steering rack done before I start throwing the hubs and everything back on. And I don't want to take all those apart until I'm ready to put them on the car, because I don't want to lose any of the bits. So the steering rack needs to go back together, back into the car, and then the hubs can be done. All that can come apart. All that can go into the car. The brakes can be rebled. And then it can be dropped down. Yeah, in that order. So I'm not necessarily at a stopping point for the day. I'm at a stopping point for right now, because that's probably going to need a good hour to cool down. With it being aluminum, I don't really want to throw a lot of water or anything at it, because, well, that just sounds like a good way to destroy it. And I don't have another one of those, and I very clearly don't have another rack that works. So we're going to let it do its own thing at its own time and just suck up the fact that we're losing more time. I hate that, but that's what we're going to do. And this will get done as it gets done. I am probably going to take a break from the car and maybe go work on an RC for a little while, and I'll film that. Maybe I'll build you guys an RC truck for this week. I can't win. Oh, hi again, boys and girls. It's another week. So, got some work done on the MG off camera, because frankly, I kind of needed to do it off camera, because I tried doing it on camera and everything got really confusing for a minute. Let me walk you through it. So, last time you guys seen it, steering rack wasn't in it, and I was fighting with the steering rack. I had actually, where did it go? Taken apart and fixed the old steering rack so I could put that one back in because I thought that's the one I needed. Well, with the help of a buddy, I got that one up and in place, and it was about 3 inches too long because I did not realize those mounting points, these ones right here, on the other rack are basically touching right here. So I could not get that rack to shove in far enough to get everything together. And in the process of that, we also figured out that the steering rack was shoved out that way about as far as it could get with the shaft buried in it. I don't know why. I still don't understand why, because it should never have been that way. So we actually got the steering rack to come back out of the steering rack. I've moved the steering rack back a little bit, which explains some of my fitment issues in the car, because I've never had an mgb that I couldn't fit under the steering wheel that well. And got it all together in the car. I have steering again. And, well, I would have steering if the ball joints were hooked up. I need to swap these inner tie rods onto it yet, and the new outers that I have, because the inners, outers, and boots on the rack that's in there now is shot. So that all needs to go away. And after that's done, we can finally move on to getting everything finished up, get it back down on the ground, see how low the front end actually is, and hopefully that's what we're going to call it a wrap on this video. Because this video is now taking me, I think this is like day 8 of trying to get this done. So, and it is like 40 degrees outside right now, and I'm out here with no sweater on, and it is, the doors are open and cold. So I'm actually going to stop for a minute because, well, while the wife is at work, I need to go do some Christmas shopping. And we will come back to this here a little later tonight, or tomorrow maybe. Might even be tomorrow. But I have started disassembling one of these, and I decided to stop because I want to do that on camera. I'm going to do this one completely on camera. This one I'm going to finish probably off camera, just so I know exactly what I'm doing. But I put a new wheel seal in it. This seal right here. I was going to put all new bearings in it, but after taking that bearing out and this bearing out, the bearings are actually in really good shape. The grease doesn't even look bad in them. So I'm going to repack them a little bit because they're a little dry. That one's already pretty much done. Throw the bearings back in it, throw them on those hubs, and probably call it good. Then we can go through, get the brakes hooked back up with the new rotors, new pads, which means at this point, this thing will have new brakes all the way around, good wheel bearings, new tie rod ends, new kingpins, new front springs, new wiring, new lights, new gauges. This car will be more new than old. A new fuel pump. And the entire brake system is new. Every inch of hydraulic part in this car is brand new now. So I have a feeling this is going to make someone a really fun car next year. I don't think it's going to be me, though, because, well, we need money for other things. So, and other projects, because, well, I get this done and I get this done. Really don't have another one right now. So we got to pick something else up. Now, I thought I had something lined up, but it fell through. So, yeah. All right. Enough rambling. This time when I say I will bring you guys back when something's going on, I really mean I will bring you guys back when something's going on. Whew, it's cold.
Oh
That is low. Oh, so we started out at 2 foot 1 3/4 inches. Right now, it is setting at 1 foot 9 inches and just over 3/4. So it went from 4 inches. It dropped 4 inches. Holy crap. I don't think I can drop the rear that much. That's a lot. We might have overdone it, guys. I think we're only going to drop the back 3. Like, I don't think I can drop the rear any more than 3 and it still work properly. And then we may swap springs and raise the front back up a little bit. Wow. That dropped a lot more than I expected. Like, that is... like, wow. So, that took... what? What did I do with the tape measure? The tape measure scared me and I think I threw it. There it is. So this cross member, we may end up, honestly, after some things I learned, we've ended up, that cross member took 1 inch out. So, and the springs are a solid, like 3 inches shorter. So I don't know why I'm surprised it dropped at 4 inches, but I am. We may have to fight and put that cross member back in. Just because, from what I have figured out, excuse me guys, this has been a lot of work. The steering shaft is rubbing the inner frame rail. And from what I can find, there's not a lot I can do about that. Short of drastically modifying a lot of things. So something with the frame rails are slightly different between the late models and the early models. And everything with the steering rack set's different, and the steering rack length is different, and the amount of turns in the steering rack is different. There's just a holy crap amount different. So we may have to swap back to the old rack, the old subframe, which at this point I now know what I'm doing, so it won't be terrible. It's still gonna suck, but it won't be terrible. And at that point we'll probably just do just the lowering springs maybe, because that was a lot more than I expected. Like, whoo buddy, a lot more than I expected. And then I also read online something about doing a tie rod in flip, which I think just basically means flipping these from side to side, which wouldn't be hard to do. So that's something else we'll probably look into while we're at it, because once you get this low, you can get really weird bump steer issues with tie rod members being in significantly different locations than normal. Wow. That looks freaking awesome though. So I'm gonna call it here for this video, because at this point this is exactly the look I wanted, but I fear it's probably undrivable. It is ridiculously low. I love it. Let's see if we can get this back in, just for like the effect of just exactly how low this thing has gotten in the front. I mean, the windshield is now like a lot lower on me. The headlight is at my knee. It's just, now given, once the back's dropped, the front will come back up a little bit, but wow, that got so much lower than I expected. I'm making this work. I don't know what I gotta do yet to make this work this way and stay this way, but it's staying this way. I like it too much. It may involve pulling the radiator and stuff and making a frame rail work with it being this low, but I like it. So, on that note, guys, thank you for following along with this shit show of an experience. Next time when we come back to this, we're going to be lowering the rear. I'm not going to show you guys any more of the front. I'm just going to figure it out and get it done. There will probably be a couple filler videos with some RCs, and maybe I'll get around to do another video on the GT6 before we get back to a video of this. But yeah, wow, I cannot believe how low this got. That is... Damn. Like, you're not going to be able to... Wait till we get the back done. This is going to look freaking killer. I wish I had a front lip. Oh. Yeah. Alright. I am 100% rambling at this point. Thank you guys for watching this bit of ridiculousness. I will bring you back for the rear end. I'm going to tidy up some things on the front off camera. And fingers crossed, next time you guys see this on camera, we'll be able to back it out of the garage, and you guys will be able to see it drive to the gas station and back or something. Just something on camera. Hey, she's home from break. So that is my cue to shut up and go inside because she's home. So I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Remember, like, share, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. You know what to do. Oh, yeah, ring the bell thing, too, I guess. See you guys then. Have fun. Bye-bye. You need to come look at this. It's stupid low. I love it.
Okay.
It's dumb. It'll never work, but I love it. Right? It's so low. Yes, it's that low. It has no suspension left. It's gone.
Yep.
Perfect. I ruined it. I love it.
Okay.
I gotta figure out the back. And a lot more at the front because the front's completely screwed. All right.